Call me SpongeBob because I'm ready. What's going on, guys? It's Thomas from the Switch Shop, joined by Mac and PJ as always, and welcome back to the 52nd episode
52?
of Nintendo Tonight.
We've been doing this for a year straight. That's crazy.
Yeah, one episode a week. It's been a year, guys. Welcome to the 1 year anniversary of Nintendo Tonight.
It totally didn't start in 2020.
No, not 3 years ago. Not over 3 years. No,
we've been going for a year.
No.
Yeah.
It's been 1 year straight. It's crazy. PJ's grown a beard, lost a beard, regrown a beard within that year. Mac and I haven't really changed that much, but yeah, true. Mac was born. Actually, true. I forgot. Because you were not here at the start of the podcast. So Mac was born and grew up to be older than me within the 3 years. I don't know how that works.
Crazy.
Don't question it.
Crazy.
Anyway, let's jump right into this episode because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Mac is lost right now. Visual viewers, anyone watching can tell Mac's Wi-Fi is having a little bit of a struggle. Yeah,
I'm having a throwback to the what's it called episode?
Yeah, I don't remember
episode.
Which one that was.
The Pokemon episode.
Okay, I missed like full 30 seconds because I was lagging out. Yeah,
we could tell. Can you just close anything else you have open? Just so
let me close Twitter. I'm kidding, I already closed it.
No, just like any other like apps you have that can be.
Yeah, I've got Discord and Audacity open, so you know.
Oh, okay. Well, if it happens again,
I can't close anything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
All right, we'll just jump into it though.
It's my sister's playing Roblox and being on TikTok. That's what's going on.
Yeah. So, in that recent Nintendo Direct, we got the trailer for Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and that showed us a lot. There's a lot of stuff that we see in this trailer that is like kind of mind-blowing in terms of 2D Mario, but at the same time, it's the first trailer. We have not seen that much. We've seen that there's multiplayer. We've seen what the world map looks like. We know a couple of power-ups, including the elephant thing. But, like, we don't know much about this game beyond what they showed, or really anything beyond what they showed. And they didn't show that much in the grand scheme of things. So in this part of the podcast, I want to hear, I want us to get kind of crazy. I want us to get wild. Mac and PJ and I all have two things each that we want to see in Super Mario Wonder. And we're just going to bring it up, discuss it, and kind of see what this game could end up being. Because I have no idea. Like, there's so much stuff that we could end up seeing.
Yeah. We've only seen like 2.5 minutes of this game so far from the trailer, and there's bound to be more stuff they haven't announced yet. So, I agree. Let's get started. Who wants to go first?
Mac, you want to go first?
I go first?
Yeah.
Take it.
I've always got to go first. Okay. So my first thing, I want to see secret exits. Okay, Super Mario World is my favorite 2D Mario game of all time. I don't know why, but that world map in that game I think is just incredible. I think having different like branching paths and having like the Star World where you can go to like different worlds around the map and like skip through the game is just like, it's brilliant to me. And I from what we've seen from the world map, it doesn't exactly look like that because it looks like we got these little discs that like show like a little like preview of the world. It's kind of like 3D World, but they could do something similar. I suspect there's going to be at least some ways to like skip ahead in the game. Like, the original Mario Bros had, the warp zone. So there's going to be something similar to that. But what I think made secret exits so unique was it was kind of like an extra objective to each level. Like if a level had a secret exit, you could tell when you went in it. And you either went for the main objective, which was like the flag. Well, it wasn't a flagpole in Super Mario World. I forget what it was.
It's like the
little
thing that goes up and down. And
finishing the level. It doesn't matter. But finishing the level, or finding the key and then getting the secret exit. So I always thought that was super neat. Also, just a side note, I would love to have a special world with a bunch of like super hard levels. I thought those were really cool. Hopefully they're not named after like 80s slang. It'd be crazy. I was thinking about this. I think I put this on Twitter like a few months ago. What if there was like a level called like based or like cringe or like Riz? They're all named after like slang from like the 80s, but it's now like 2020 slang. That'd be crazy, right?
Was Super Mario World's levels named after?
Yeah, it was like tubular.
Yeah, the special. It was like groovy, tubular. Really? Yeah,
I only remember tubular because I have like major PTSD from that. Like how you would have to get the P balloon, you have to go like back and forth, and it was like it's really bad. It's like one of the worst levels ever. But anyway, yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else they could like name like 2020 slang levels after.
I think they should not do that. I'm gonna be honest.
It'd be kind of neat.
Okay,
Here,
it
everybody,
would be kind of neat, but your examples.
Name the slang in the comments below of like what you think we should name the special levels. I think that'd be neat.
If there's a level called Riz, I'm going to throw my game out the window. I promise. If there's a level called Riz, I'm done. There's no way to
Riz
do
up
that.
Peach. There's like a Riz power up. You gotta go and you throw like instead of fireballs, you throw like little hearts and you try and like.
And the
Riz
baby
up the other
Gronks there. Yeah.
Okay. No, we're gonna move on. But no, the secret exits, I do love the idea of secret exits in this game.
Yep.
Anything to kind of make, because 2D Mario is known for being super linear, and I like that about 2D Mario. I like that there's no backtracking. It's not like a Metroidvania or anything. But any way to make it slightly less linear while not sacrificing the intense platforming that we all know and love from 2D Mario, that's what secret exits are. That's what they accomplish, and that's why I love them so much. There are a bunch of great secret exits in the history of 2D Mario, and I hope this game kind of continues that tradition.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it for sure. I mean, I think that's something from the new Soup games as well that, I don't know, some people might be angry about, like, oh, it's just like them. But, I mean, I feel like secret X's are kind of like a 2D Mario staple at this point. So I would actually be surprised if they weren't in, but I feel like if they were not, it would be for the sole reason of trying to differentiate themselves like from the new Soup games and trying to like make a new identity, you know what I mean? So yeah. Thomas,
great.
You're up next.
So this next one that I want to talk about, PJ, I mean, this could honestly be its own segment on the Nintendo Tonight YouTube channel. By the way, any listeners, if you are not subscribed to the Nintendo Tonight YouTube channel, we're cranking out shorts, we're cranking out segments. It's, well, PJ, I say we, it's PJ. He's cranking stuff out there. It's amazing.
We are, dude. We are.
It's communist.
I
now.
show up here once a week
communist.
and I'm cranking out stuff. I love it.
Hell yeah. You got your solo short yesterday, man.
Yeah.
You did that. That was all you.
That was inspirational.
It
inspirational,
really was.
Mac.
It's what I do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's just the GOAT. He's just the GOAT. But
What can
no,
you say?
this is probably the coolest possible thing that Mario Bros. Wonder could do, and that is take some inspiration from Kirby and the Forgotten Land, because in that game, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I never played it, but from what I've heard, you can upgrade like the different power-ups that Kirby can get. So in like the main, before you go into the level, you can spend your currency to upgrade power-ups, and then when you get those power-ups within the level, they're maybe better in one certain way or have a new aspect to the power-up. This sounds absolutely crazy and something we've never seen in any 2D or really 3D Mario game, but this, if it's ever going to happen, it's going to be in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. What are purple coins used for? We have no idea. We have not seen anything. That I don't think it's going to be alternate costumes like in Mario Odyssey. That's what I would love to see that. But the fact if they did alternate costumes means they'd have to add alternate costumes for not just Mario, but Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Toad. Then it gets a little dicey. They just have to make so many different alternate costumes. Instead, I think maybe you use these purple coins to either upgrade different power-ups, like get a better, make the fire flower a little bit better, make the invincibility star last longer, make the elephant a little stronger, or you use these power-ups to upgrade the different characters themselves, and that's how you maybe, you upgrade Peach, and then she gets her flutter, like, dress hover ability that she's known for in Super Mario Bros. 2 or 3D World. Or maybe you upgrade Toad, and then he's able to run faster, or Luigi's able to jump higher, or Daisy can get her double jump. Like, the purple coins being used to actually have not just a cosmetic, but a tangible upgrade to Mario's moveset would be absolutely insane. And for any visual viewers, PJ, if you mind switching back to the Wonder trailer, there is one shot here that I do want to point out that I think actually Chris Tendo showed me this yesterday. I was recording a podcast with him and I didn't notice. Yeah, this was sick. If you go to the Bowser Jr. fight, there's like one little clip. It's towards the end of the trailer before the thing comes up. Bowser Jr. like shrinks. Over. Maybe you did. Anyway, I'll just start describing it and it'll be on screen for anyone who's watching. Yeah. Oh, there it is. You just saw it. Yep. So basically, look at Mario using the fire flower here. He sends two fireballs. He goes with both hands. He sends, two fireballs, and it looks like it's quick enough to where that could have been done in one press, because it was specifically an animation for two fireballs as he uses both his hands. Otherwise, it's just, one hand. It's a little weird. There are a bunch of new animations in this game. I'm kind of grasping at straws here. This could very well just be a new animation for, like, if you press the fireball button twice, you just does this unique animation. Sure, it's possible. I could also very well see this. This is obviously going to be later in the game because it's a boss fight with Bowser Jr. I could very well see whoever got this far in the game upgrading their fire flower, so whenever you press the button, maybe now it sends out 2 balls instead of 1 in rapid succession, just like we see right there. Maybe it's a Mac, don't smile at that. Come on now. Family friendly podcast.
I thought I would be slick, Con.
No, you ain't slick. No, honestly though, I do think like upgrading power-ups is something that I think would absolutely change the game. And there are a lot of people who think that this game maybe doesn't have 100% its own identity yet. And it's definitely different from New Super Mario Bros. But like, to be fair, we don't know too much about what makes this game stand out besides the Wonder Mode. If you could upgrade power-ups or upgrade individual characters, this would be not just revolutionary for 2D Mario, but Mario as a entire franchise. We've never seen any sort of mainline Mario game like this.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. It kind of would add like some progression to the game when most like Mario games have always been just like skill based. But I think that'd be super neat. Like you said, like adding to either the. I think what we could see happening is like what you said, where you know they get their special moves like through like the purple coins. Because I would love to see costumes, but I would honestly rather see like progression mechanics come through with either the power ups or the different like moves you can unlock. I think that'd be really neat.
Yeah, I mean that would change everything. You guys kind of hit the nail right in the head. Like, I mean, it would change everything. It would be super great. I actually noticed the fire flower thing, and it didn't even cross my mind that it could possibly be an upgradable power up, or if that was even a feature. I thought that was just like a new animation, because we see like everything is like animated newly, I guess, in this game. Like, there's nothing really reused from New Soup that I've seen, like specifically. Like we see more like mechanics like with the hat or whatever. The running animations are different, the jumping animations are different. Like, everything's all new, so I totally would not write that off. Something I had an idea for the purple coins though is we've seen this game have the most extensive roster. Again, if you count both of the Toads, because in the key art you see Yellow Toad, then you see like a Goomba with like a blue Toad hat on there. I'm not sure what that means.
Is that costumes?
So maybe who knows?
Maybe you play as a Goomba.
No way. Maybe. I mean, hey, we don't know.
That'd be crazy. And you just can't jump. Like, imagine trying that like a super hard mode. That'd be cool.
Yeah. You just walk around as a Goomba.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
If you hit your head on a brick, instead of like sending something out of the brick, you just die, because it's like compressing your head with when you jump on a Goomba. It's like
that'd be funny.
Yeah. I was thinking for the purple coins, like if you collect all of them, what if at the end of the game, this was the point I was getting to with the extensive roster. What if at the end of the game, maybe you get a character similar to how you get Rosalina in 3D World? Now, I know that's like unlocked in like the second level of like this new world after you take the rocket ship and everything. But what if for completing and getting all the purple coins, what if you get like a new character? I wouldn't write that off, because it's the biggest roster in 2D Mario history if we count like Blue Toad plus like all of the Yoshi colors, if you really want to get specific with it. But I mean, I think that could be pretty cool too, because like, who really knows? I mean, they made Daisy playable in this game, which nobody saw coming at all, like, because Daisy was just kind of like a side character at this point. Like, the main focal point was like Peach playable, and like Daisy was like the throwaway kind of thing. But who knows? So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah I just think the idea of potentially being able to upgrade power-ups is
that would
ridiculous.
Be insane.
Like,
insane.
If you could upgrade Mario himself, like, I don't know necessarily how I'd feel about
like his
that. Like,
attributes. You think they would do something about like his jump or something like that?
I don't think they would.
I don't know.
I don't think they would, and I wouldn't necessarily like it. Like, I wouldn't like being able to like, oh, you pay a bunch of purple coins and now Mario can jump higher for the rest of the game. Like, I feel like at that point, then they're not able to design the levels for Mario's moveset, because you never know at what,
that's a good point,
at what level his moveset will be. But like something with like the power-ups where like Fire Flower sends two fireballs, or the elephant, can break through this type of block now and allow you to get to a secret exit, or like the superstar lasts longer, or whatever
that could
power-ups
like
we
take
see.
up the like the buttons you'd see in like, I think, Super Mario World, where it's like the yellow buttons where if you like jumped on it would like unlock like certain parts of like levels and stuff. I could definitely see that being like something they use with the purple coins to like change it up a bit. Also, can I just quick tangent? This is Mario related.
Uh-oh.
It's not just a random tangent.
Okay.
What do you think the main objective of the game is going to be? Because in Super Mario 3D World, it's saving the Sprixie princesses or whatever, the fairies or whatever, because Peach is playable now and she's no longer like the damsel in distress. What do you think that's going to be? I just randomly thought of that.
Yeah, my idea was if you see like at the end of the trailer here, this is actually perfect timing. So obviously when they hit like the top of the flagpole, complete the level, you see this house kind of materialize out of nothing. I'm not sure what that means, but we see these like people that like look like Toads, but like clearly are not. So that's why I said I think in the last episode that this game doesn't take place in Mushroom Kingdom. It doesn't look like. And I think it might be just like collecting Wonder Seeds. But I don't know why, because like you collect a Wonder Seed in the level, but you also get one at the end of the level maybe, or maybe this is like a one level off kind of thing. I don't know. And then it's something to do with this green little dude right here, visual viewers. Putting my mouse around
the caterpillar.
This dude might be a key part to the game. Who knows? Because we see him in the key art with Luigi. We see him traveling with Mario. I don't know what the point is. That might just be like a new side character that is like trying to save this kingdom or this world, whatever this is. But I have a feeling, Bowser has something Wonder Seed related that he took from this kingdom, world, whatever you want to call it. And Mario's just trying to like get them all back and obviously defeat Bowser, typical Mario game ending. But I have a feeling it's something along those lines, in my opinion.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think this is going to be a 3D World type story where maybe like the Flower Kingdom princess is kidnapped, and then Peach and Daisy go to the Flower Kingdom, and Mario and Luigi have to follow, and then that's how they got around in 3D World. They made the Sprixies because they can't have Peach get kidnapped because she's playable. I think they're going to do the exact same thing here, if I'm being honest, because I'm not expecting like a crazy story with this. So the 3D World route kind of makes sense. I do, though. I have a crazy prediction for Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I feel like this has to come true. You know that caterpillar guy who you see on Mario when he finishes the level and he's on Luigi? He, at some point, has to turn into a butterfly, right?
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Probably at the end of the game,
100% agree.
It's like the
and then you can ride him. He's going to be like a Yoshi, except you can fly with him.
That would be insane.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. That would be ridiculous. Because that could be like... In a lot of the 2D Mario games, they have a power-up that gives you verticality, like the propeller mushroom or like the acorn.
Always.
We haven't really seen that. The elephant's definitely not going to let you like fly. But if maybe he turns into a butterfly like halfway through the game, and then that's how you unlock like a more flight-oriented power-up, that would be ridiculous. I feel like he just has to. Like, we don't know what this guy's deal is, but... It's the Flower Kingdom. There's a caterpillar that seems important to the story. He's turning into a butterfly.
He's important. He's on the box art. He's seen at the end of every level. He's definitely important to the story.
Wait, I can't even find it, but it'll come up eventually. But do you guys remember that scene with like Mario and Peach like flying down with their hats like enlarged and stuff? Do you think that somehow is like that green caterpillar dude related at all? Like, I don't know.
No, I don't think so. Because
you think that's just like a new gimmick? I have a feeling it's a new gimmick, but I don't know.
In that scene, there's a sign with like a hat on it that kind of indicates that that's now something you can do. So I don't think it necessarily has to do with the caterpillar, but
true.
I think at some point he's definitely turning into a butterfly. I feel like that's just like like maybe you feed him a Wonder Seed and he turns into a butterfly, and then you can fly around a level.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, who is up next?
Me.
I think it's
I'm up next. Yeah.
What you got?
Okay,
PJ?
So this is kind of a perfect transition over, but we were talking about purple coins and everything, and what I want for this game, and I think it's probably going to be in because we can kind of make predictions just based off this trailer that it's going to be in the game, but backtracking, because we see that unless it's some sort of like challenge stage or whatever, there is no timer on any of these levels. And this was like one of the main things that we noticed here. Like, I think this is a challenge level as well, or no, this is like the Wonder Mode, I believe. So I have a feeling that you're going to be able to go back and forth and go back and collect things for free with no time restraining you, to be honest, because we see when we go into the Wonder Mode, there's the purple coin chunks that only appear in Wonder Mode, and then there's also purple coins that probably disappear while you're in this mode that you can only get when you're in like the normal gameplay mode, if that makes sense. So I have a feeling that backtracking is going to be in this game. It's going to be kind of interesting because you're going to be spending more time on each level, And as a completionist, I kind of really like that because I don't know, it's just like satisfying to me to like go back and get all the collectibles and seeing like the 100% number at the end, and you know, having both Wonder Seeds and the level and all that stuff. So it's going to be interesting to explore and see like what other secrets there's going to be in these levels and stuff like that, because backtracking is actually something I've wanted for a long time. And with secret exits, Mac, possibly being in the game again, your idea from earlier, I think this would perfectly work out with that too, because you can say like, oh, like there's a secret exit here, like I'll come back and I'll do this or whatever, and just kind of like take note of it while you collect pretty much every other collectible in like said level or whatever. So backtracking is almost at the top of my list, so I hope it's going to be in the game, and I think it probably will be. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Some of my favorite parts from like 3D World were going back into the levels and like finding the green stars and the stamps and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's kind of what it looks to be like right now, because it seems to be like you got the main objective that, you know, everybody goes for, which is, you know, just completing the level, and you get a Wonder Seed from that. But I'm pretty sure there's a second Wonder Seed in every single level just from like what we saw. So that seems to be like a secondary, you know, objective, and then you've also got the purple coins in there. So yeah, I definitely think that's what's going to be happening here. I'm very excited for that.
Thomas?
I completely agree. I hope that there is more stuff to do for completionists. I don't want like too much artificial backtracking. Like I'd love if it had a reason.
Like I don't want it to be annoying.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like a hassle.
As long as it's not
I have
annoying.
to go back. Yeah.
Yeah. And as long as the levels are fun enough, it won't be annoying. And they look pretty fun so far. So I'm looking forward to it. Anything to like pad out the game's runtime without it feeling like they're just like artificially making it longer. Like more random small objectives for us to do. As long as they're not like, you know, 100% required. But like I have no problem with them putting a bunch of like small random stuff in this game that you have to go back and replay levels for just to get 100%, because that just gives you, you know, more stuff to do if you want to try and keep playing this game and get 100%. So yeah, I totally agree. I think that's a good idea.
Like something I disliked from even 3D World or kind of the new Soup games at like a smaller scale was that to achieve like a true 100%, like in your mind, like true 100%, where like when you hover over the level, it says like everything's complete. You need to touch the top of the flagpole with all characters. And with the big roster that this game has, it's like 7 characters at least or something, or I think it might be 6 at least, I forget. Anyway, that is going to be quite the hassle, so I almost wonder if that mechanic is removed.
So here's my thing with that. I think it's a fine mechanic, but it can't be every single character. If you touch the flagpole with one of them, it should count as touching the flagpole. It shouldn't be, you know, like required for 100%
that's what I mean,
level.
because you remember 3D World where like it showed like all of the emblems of the characters when you would when you like complete the game or like the main game and you hover over that, it like still shows that you haven't touched the top of the flagpole.
Well, so the one thing with that is for 3D World, you have to touch the top of the flagpole in every level, but not with every character. You just have to touch the flagpole with every character. So you still have to play every level with every character. Yeah. You just don't have to get to the top of the flagpole. Only one. You of them
had you had to finish each level with every character. That's what it was.
Yes.
Which I hope that doesn't come back.
I honestly hope it does. I have no problem with that. As long as like in this game, it would be a little weird if the characters don't have secondary abilities or like different abilities to differentiate them. But if Daisy plays differently from Luigi, who plays differently from Yoshi, who plays differently from Mario, then as long as it's only tied to like some 100% thing, then I don't really care if they're making us play every level with each character. Like as long as I can beat the main story and like play pretty much every level in the game without having to do that, then I don't have a problem if they're just going to add like in a counter that checks and sees if you do.
That's a good point.
That's true.
It's up to the player what they do anyways. So
yeah. It's like even if you play with 4 players and you like complete every level and like top of the flagpole kind of thing, like to achieve like full 100%, like you still need to like go back even when you're playing with 4 players. It's like, in my opinion, I find that annoying just like as a completionist, because it's like I'm not going to be playing this game with 4 people, so it's like, man, I have to go back if I really want to do that. But I mean, it's more of like a kind of a petty thing, I guess. Like it's not a big deal. Yeah. It's just like
I think
there.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I think 3D World did it in a pretty decent way, at least in my opinion, where 3D World, the way it worked was you have to get, in order to unlock the final world, which is World Crown and has Champions Road, which is the last level in the game, you have to get every green star up until that point, get every stamp up until that point, and touch the top of the flagpole
In every level.
up in every level up until that point. Those are like the 3 main collectibles. And then if you don't have to, you could do that all with one character. You could never switch off Mario and do that all. Technically no, because certain green stars require different characters, but you get the point. You could do it all pretty much with one character. And then the only reason you then would need to go switch to other characters is you get a stamp for completing every level with Mario. You get a stamp for completing every level with Luigi. So there's no actual content in terms of like levels or hidden unlockables or anything like that besides a stamp hidden behind playing every level with the character. So if you're going to 100% the game, then yeah, you
like
need
a
to play
true
every level with every
100%.
character.
Yeah, like a true.
But you don't need to.
Yeah.
You're not being forced to do that. Like
Which is nice.
If they hid Champions Road behind playing every level with every character, then
would
I'd be like, yeah,
horrible.
that sucks.
Yeah.
That's bad. Like that's kind of what they did with Mario Galaxy 2, where you have to beat the whole game, then beat it all with Luigi again.
Oh, the Galaxy
final
level.
level.
Galaxy games did it horribly. Yeah, even for like 100% in Galaxy 1. It's like you have to play through the entire game as Mario, and then you have to do the exact same thing all over again with Luigi, but he's slippery. It's like
Yeah.
Anyway,
As long as they don't lock a level behind playing every level with every character, and it's only like a small little like maybe you get a star next to the character on the character select screen, I'm fine with that. I think there's no problem there.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, where are we?
Who is up next?
It's
me?
me. I think.
You?
Wait, did you go
No.
your second?
No, I haven't gone my second.
Oh,
so
you
I think
started off
it
then,
loops
yeah.
back to me. It's not like a snake draft. Okay.
Correct.
So my idea is I would like to see challenge levels return from 3D World. I want to see
Awkward.
the Captain Toad levels. I'm not assuming we get Captain Toad levels, but something kind of similar to that. That's like a puzzle kind of thing to break up the gameplay, so it's not like always straight platforming. Or even what are these called? They're mystery houses or green
houses. Yeah,
mystery
the
houses. I
purple
thought they were
mystery
green
houses.
star houses, but they're the mystery houses. I always really enjoyed these ones because it was like, I don't know, just quick gameplay, quick. I always thought these were super neat.
It's like WarioWare, but in Mario. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's like these
I
little
agree
micro levels.
Yeah, I've not much to say about this, but I always thought these were really fun and neat and just, something to break up like the pace of the game,
Agreed.
Yeah.
I would love to see some sort of like iteration of this to come back for sure. Like I really enjoyed this, like for sure. Like I remember, if visual viewers, this level in particular is in World Crown, I believe it is, like right next to Champions Road. And this took like a long time for me to beat, like alone, because it's rough. Like when you're playing like one player, it can be kind of rough unless you're a Mario 3D World enthusiast like Thomas Swishsub over here.
Hey,
But,
this is still tough. This one's hard.
yeah.
You got to get 30 straight green stars without missing one.
Yeah.
Everyone has a 10-second
Brutal.
timer. It's a tough level. But yeah, I completely agree. I'd love to see this sort of thing come back.
I mean, I think we kind of got a sneak peek at challenge levels. So Mac, I think your wish is kind of coming true.
Well, I don't know.
Where it's kind of like a
We don't know if
timer
those
or
are in
whatever.
Wonder. We don't know if they're in Wonder mode though. Like that could be a Wonder
true.
specific thing, like
That's
within
true.
the levels. I don't know if it'll be outside, like on the world map. But I guess either way, it doesn't really matter because as long as you get the style.
Also,
of gameplay.
one thing that, like, when I first saw the one clip that's really short that has, the 4 Yoshis, I assumed in my head, like, it was similar to the Captain Toad levels. From now, what I've heard, it sounds like he's the baby character. But when I first saw
we
it,
see a missile like phase through him, so we can kind of
to me,
assume,
it
I
seemed
guess.
like it was a Yoshi level where you went into a level and you could, like, only play as Yoshi. Because I want to assume that they'd let you have, like, 4 different colors of Yoshis play at one time. But I don't know what that was, but I'd love to see these return.
Still so many questions, man. We have so many assumptions they could just be totally wrong. Like maybe all Yoshi levels don't exist, but maybe they just like kind of created that to make it look like that. Like I don't know. It's kind of so deceiving. That's the whole point, because 2-minute trailer, right? But I hope these come back for sure. These were really fun. I recently replayed through 3D World, and these were very enjoyable. So I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. For one other thing I want to see, this is the other one big thing I want to see in this game. In Kirby and the Forgotten Land, there's like a Waddle Dee town And once you beat levels, you could like bring Waddle Dees back, and some of them would populate the shops, and some of them would give you little like mini quests and stuff, and some of them would just sit there and it would be cool. But I would love to see one level in this game that's like a town of these flower seedling creatures, and the more you kind of save by beating a level and then they give you a wonder seed, maybe then they just go back to this town and they slowly start populating this town, kind of like how the Comet Observatory gets populated by Lumas throughout your playthrough there. And maybe there are shops in there where you can buy different things and get power-ups, and maybe Mario has like a house there and you can buy stuff, like you could buy little trinkets and stickers for the Odyssey and Mario Odyssey. But just having one like home base area that's not just the world hub map is something I would love to see. Kirby and the Forgotten Land did this really, really well from everything I've heard from people who played the game. It's still on my list of games I need to play. I just haven't gotten to it. But from what I've seen, at least,
highly recommend.
Yeah, that like Kirby, like what's it called, PJ? Did you play like the Waddle Dee Town?
Yeah, it's like I believe it's called like Waddle Town or something like that, or like Waddle Dee Town, something like that. Like I think you're almost there. Like I kind of forget like the name of it, but you're like right there. I mean, it's a town full of Waddle Dees. Like,
no, I would love to see that. I would love to see just a town of these toad-like seed creatures, and they just chill there. And the more you save, the more populated the town becomes, and maybe there are little hidden secrets and stuff, kind of like most 3D Mario hub worlds. And yeah, I just think that would be a really cute addition.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that. I think that would also add like part of the like completionist part of like, the game's like unlocking the different things. Like I loved in the Odyssey when you'd like buy the little stickers and trinkets for the Odyssey, and you saw it like, this is what you were talking about. But like it just like something to show the progress you made during the game. That's like just like a cute addition that like, doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme, but like, adds personality to the game. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Definitely would love to see this, and I think everyone is gone, so I think it's my turn.
Yeah, it's all you.
Yeah.
The last thing we want to see.
No pressure.
This is unfortunately this is kind of basic, Mac. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, man. But it's basically just DLC, because in 2D Mario, I guess we kind of got Luigi U, which it was fine. It wasn't like super enjoyable for me or anything, but it was what it was, and I think DLC would be kind of interesting in this game, because we're not sure how big this is yet. We know the file size, and it's pretty large, so maybe there's a lot of levels here. But whether it's DLC characters or a mode or even like new worlds or something like that, more content, like I would love to see it, because I know that even if this game is going to be massive, I'm still going to want more from it. Just like I haven't even played it yet, I just know. Like I'm going to want more and more gameplay from it. So if it's a character like Rosalina, maybe, or if Rosalina's like hidden in the game and we don't know, maybe it's Pauline, maybe it's a Donkey Kong character, maybe we get a world along with that character in some sort of DLC, who knows. But yeah, just something I would like to see. More content of a game we haven't even seen yet. Shocking.
I think that's not a bad take, but I don't know. I feel like I've been burned by games having DLC for so long that just like don't have content, like Animal Crossing New Horizons, or Nintendo Switch Sports that come bare bones. Like I don't think this game is gonna be like those, like not having content at launch, because like I don't know. I just feel like I've been burned by DLC so many times. So if they're gonna have DLC, I want to make sure this game is a full game before
that's fair.
They make anything for that.
That's fair. I mean, I feel like I trust like the 2D Mario team enough that they wouldn't make such mistake. But like, I get it, because like you wouldn't think Animal Crossing would do that, and then they have. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, Thomas.
Yeah. I think the new Super Luigi U would be like the way to do this. Like the exact same engine, the exact same everything else, but like just some new like the Luigi U gimmick was, not only did Luigi play different, but all the levels were like 100 seconds or less. Like they were short, bite-sized, pretty difficult, like quick levels. I don't know if speed is necessarily the way you would mess with it, but like they'd have to take like one gimmick and kind of just like run with it in like a completely new campaign of like remixed levels and charge like $30 for that or something. Like, I don't want like a small, like if we get like free update, one new character and 4 new levels, that's gonna feel like it's gonna end up feeling like a Mario Strikers Battle League type thing. But if they do what they did, with Luigi, or like even something like if it was an Octo expansion level of DLC, like that's awesome. That I would totally get behind. just like another additional smaller campaign. That would be cool.
I guess it kind of depends
Yeah.
on where the plan's at for this game, because obviously they're trying to keep the 2D Mario roots, but also trying to heavily differentiate it from the new Soup games. So we'll see if they kind of take a different approach with that. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I think that's about it
Cool.
with all of our ideas there. So
I liked
if
all
you
our
guys-
ideas. I think they're
yeah,
good.
I agree. Yeah, you guys popped off. If you guys have any ideas for the game that you would like to see, visual viewers, even audio listeners, be sure to tweet at us at Nintendo Tonight. Leave a comment below on the podcast. Talk to us anywhere. Just do it.
And leave us your best 2020 slang. I want to hear them. What are these special levels going to be
Yeah.
called?
Oh, brother.
If Riz is
yeah.
in the name, you are getting banned. No, I'm kidding. But
You will be
Am I, though?
commenting. Yeah. Anyway, no. That's a great. I think we came up with a lot of good stuff. There's so much that they could do within this game. But I guess segueing on from that, one of the biggest things about this new Nintendo Direct that I thought was just kind of mind blowing was we're getting a remake of Super Mario RPG. Which, okay, first of all, what? It's like a full remake. It reminds me kind of the Link's Awakening remake, and that, like, not art style, but like that kind of like scope of the project. It's a 1-to-1 remake, super faithful, just like enhanced graphics. So not only are we getting that, a remake, cutscenes. That's honestly the coolest part. Like they're going all out for this thing. But
Yeah.
we're also getting a Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon remaster, which is a 3DS game, which we normally don't get 3DS games brought over to Switch. Then we're also not only we've already gotten Pikmin 1 and 2 HD, which are not like full remaster / remakes like we got with like Wind Waker HD or Twilight Princess HD, but like it's still the game on Switch playable with HD and like motion controls now and like some slight updates and stuff. And we also got Metroid Prime Remastered Shadow dropped at the last Nintendo Direct, which was a full remake in my opinion, like not gameplay wise, but just graphically. That's one of the best looking games on Switch, and it's a remake of a remaster of a GameCube game. So my question to you guys now is, Nintendo just within the past 6 months has made it very clear that to supplement the Switch's kind of slower new game releases because it's coming towards the end of its lifespan, they are perfectly fine now remastering, remaking, and straight up porting games that we never thought would come over. I never thought we'd get to play Pikmin 1 and 2 on Switch. I never thought we'd get Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon brought over. That's a 3DS game. Super Mario RPG, they're more than happy to bring this sort of thing over. And I'm curious now, what games do we want to see? Because it's possible now. It's possible. Anything is possible.
It is.
A 3DS game came over. That's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
I'll go first because I think PJ's about to pull it up.
Sure.
Everyone knows what I want. Kid Icarus Uprising. Why Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon got a port over Kid Icarus Uprising,
This
the
is
way more
insane.
deserving 3DS game? Ridiculous to me. Ridiculous. This game is an absolute treat. Not only have I said this multiple times in videos, I've probably said it multiple times on this podcast. Like, we've done other remastered segments like this before, but man, it's so beautiful. It looks so good. Bringing it onto the Switch would be amazing. Getting to see this game in actual HD. I don't understand why Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is coming over, because we're getting a second Luigi's Mansion game on the Switch, but it's a port of an older Luigi's Mansion game. We've already, like, none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense at all. Luigi's Mansion 3 is already on the Switch. Who's getting, I don't know. Who's buying Dark Moon? Not me. But why? It was right there. We were so close to greatness, Nintendo. Now, at least, the only thing that I can hope is now that we've gotten Dark Moon, they at least have figured out that, okay, it's easy to port over a 3DS game. It's super cheap to do. They sell really well. Minimal work required. Let's bring over Kid Icarus Uprising. Please, Nintendo, I beg of you, give us this game on Switch.
It's so funny because besides like 3D World, I think this is your second most talked about game basically on the channel and this podcast. Like I've never played the game, but just from your enthusiasm, it gets me excited. Like what is he? Is he like a shrimp or something? What is he?
It's a crazy game. It's a crazy game, and if they bring it back, trust me, it's a ridiculous game. Crazy story. Probably the funniest writing I've seen in any Nintendo game. It's just new idea after new idea after new idea. There's so much like RPG elements. It's super creative. There's like little puzzles you got to solve and everything. The flying is amazing. The walking sections are great too. And the multiplayer is like, there's like a robust versus multiplayer mode to this game. Obviously it's dead because it's on the 3DS, but if they bring it back and add that into NSO, that'll be played by me for hours and like, I will probably sink a couple hundred hours into this game if they bring it over, and a lot of that will be on the multiplayer mode. It's really fun. It's like light pit versus dark pit. It's kind of confusing to explain, but it's a great. It's a blast. It's a blast. We need this.
We do.
Yeah, I love it.
And this game is pretty amazing from what we've seen. And for some reason, it's just like not out on Switch yet. It's very confusing. Like I just feel like it was really held back by the 3DS, and people kind of forget about it at this point. Even Nintendo, it seems like, because I think a lot of people would buy a sequel to this game, especially with what we call the Switch effect. I think it would do pretty great. So hopefully it does come to the Switch in, an HD remake. And then from there, I hope that we can get more Kid Icarus games, because it just looks like so much fun. It has so much character, and it would completely fit the Switch's everything it even stands for. So would be great.
That
for
does
sure.
seem to be the MO when it comes to making remakes for the Switch, because it seems to be they make the remake to soft test or
interest, yeah.
gain interest. Like I'm pretty sure that's what they did with Pikmin 3 Deluxe, even though it wasn't
100%.
a remake, it was a port. I think those kind of things they do to see what people, if they want it, they'll buy it, and then they make a new game. So yeah, that'd get me excited for some Kid Icarus for sure.
Yep.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Let's move right along.
Mac, you want to go up next?
I'll go next.
Perfect.
Oh
right,
my God,
hit us.
we need a remake of Punch Out for the NES. Mike Tyson's Punch Out I think it might be my favorite game of all time. It's so simplistic. I played through basically the entire game. I haven't beaten Mike Tyson because I just haven't. But I made it all the way to him basically in my computer composition class in 10th grade. Because you know how I work. I work basically at the very last minute, finish everything, and then the rest of the time I'd be playing Mike Tyson's Punch Out. This game is just it is so fun. For an NES game, it looks so simple, but it's really not. It's not really a fighting game. It is a fighting game, but it's really a fighting game hidden. It's a rhythm game hidden as a fighting game. If that makes any sense.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because you have to watch how their little hints, animations, hints of what they're gonna do. It's just it's a brilliant game, and I'd love to see a remastered version of this. And no, remake. I forget the right word, but
Definitely a remake.
Didn't
because
they do this on the Wii?
they did it on the Wii, but I feel like they can do it even better, because if they had a full open world gym where you could train and make
I don't know if you guys know about Street Fighter 6, but they've kind of opened up that whole thing where it's sort of like an open world. You can walk around with your you can kind of create a character, walk around, train, stuff like that. I think if Nintendo did that with Punch Out, that would be amazing. Even past a remaster / remake of this game, I think there's a lot of potential there.
And then kind of what you said about Waddle D-Town, after you win a few fights, you obviously gain cash. You can build up your little gym or whatever, and then it can be kind of almost I really don't know. I just I'm super passionate about Punch Out. I would love to see a remake, a new game in the series, something like that on the Switch. Because when did Punch Out Wii come out?
I want to say 2008.
It's been
Around that.
So I was 6.
Maybe 2000.
So I'd love
so
to.
off.
Yeah, I feel so old. There's no Punch Out on the Switch. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great idea. I would love to see that, dude. Any sort of rendition to kind of take it up to modern day games and see what the team can do with it. That would be cool, because Little Mac is one of the most iconic Nintendo characters of all time. Yeah. Weirdly
and it's
enough,
not
even
like
though he
they've
has 2
forgotten
games.
about him. They have him. They have a Punch Out pizzeria in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So it's he's in Smash. They've got he's got a lot of people recognize Little Mac. He's a Nintendo character that isn't
iconic.
dead. So
Would be great.
Beauty.
What you got,
Guys,
PJ?
I'm sorry to disappoint everyone. This is going to be really boring. Bit of a snooze fest, but we have more Pokemon. Yay! Except this is Gen 5 remakes. So basically, all Game Freak has to do is they need to space out their timings correctly so that they don't do what BDSP did, which was basically remake a game from 2007 and make it the exact same with the exact same glitches. It was really disappointing. Unova has some of the best storytelling in all of Pokemon history, and if they were to do this game a disservice, I would be very, very upset, because even though I like Sinnoh a lot more than Unova, This game, in my opinion, in terms of like a remake, has a higher ceiling in terms of how good the game could be, rather than like the Sinnoh games, because like the Sinnoh remakes did not touch Platinum at all, and in Pokemon spaces, Platinum is considered the Gen 4 game. Like Diamond and Pearl were like, they were okay, but Platinum was like the game of all time, So if Game Freak screws these up, I'm going to be very disappointed. Their main issue seems to be time and these release dates, because they want to have as many games out as possible ASAP, even though it's clear from Scarlet and Violet to anything they've basically released on the Switch, and even some of the late 3DS games, these games are rushed. They need more time to marinate and develop, and they need to do right for sure whenever Unova remakes come out, because this has been a cycle. Mainline games come out, then a new region is remade, and we will probably see this on the Switch too. But regardless, I would like to see this remade, specifically Black 2 and White 2, because those are the games that I prefer. And for any Nintendo Tonight viewers who have been around for a while, yes, Black 2 was the DS game that I spent $140 on, and do I regret it? Most definitely not. So yeah, a remake of the Unova games would be great, as long as Game Freak takes their time and are not time crunched by the higher ups. I think it'll be great. So that's my pick.
It's super interesting you bring up Black 2 and White 2, because I don't know how they would do that, because they're not just like obviously I have barely played any Pokemon, but from what I know, they're not just like the third version. It's like a sequel to the Black and White games, correct?
So basically, it's a 2-year time skip, and it's like the original character from Black 1 like pretty much goes out on a journey like after. Like canonically after Black 1 and White 1, he like goes out and on his own journey, and we're like introduced to like new protagonists. And it's kind of cool because the characters that like the first protagonist was friends with in the first game are like 2 years later, like one's a gym leader, and then like one works with the professor. So it's like kind of cool to see like a story carry over. It's like probably one of the first
like
times
Tears
that
of
you
the
actually
Kingdom
like
a little bit.
it's kind of like an interesting carryover, but I mean, like Black 1, White 1, story wise, I think are better than Black 2, White 2, but like in terms of Pokédex and like gameplay and like some story mechanics, like it's debatable, but anyway,
So if they were to remake the Unova games, do you think they just do like a basic remake of like the first game, or do you think they add like the sequels elements?
In my opinion, I think they will probably, and this is just because I've almost lost faith. This sounds really bad, but I think they're probably just gonna do the first game. The beauty of these like Gen 4, for example, and Gen 5 games is that they start out with the first games, and then they make new ones that like expand on the elements and then make them even better. So like Platinum and Diamond and Pearl to Platinum, for example, you see like Ruby Sapphire to Emerald. Like the game released after like the Duo or whatever is always pretty much in history has always been better than like the Duo games. So yeah,
it's interesting because it kind of like looking back at it now, it seems like the old school DLC is what those third games were. Now that you think about it,
I mean exactly.
Yeah.
Like if we were to kind of go back to Scarlet and Violet, like with the DLC releasing and stuff like that, like let's say they were released on the DS, like weird hypothetical, doesn't make sense, but just go with it. Like the DLC story elements that we're going to get from like the 2 packs that have not been released yet, we would just get that new game, and it would be
Pokemon
like
Chartreuse.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like that's what they would do. So that's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all, because the sequel game or whatever, or like the game that's like a combination of the two and then expands is always better. Like Distortion World and Gen 4 from Giratina, like that was much better. Like the Rayquaza story in Emerald, way better, way cooler. Going to the Sky Pillar, it's great. And stuff like that. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, I'll say this so we can move on. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire did it perfectly because they took the elements from Ruby and Sapphire everybody loved, expanded on it pretty much. There's a couple of complaints with like Battle Frontier, stuff like that, but I won't get into that. But in the post game or whatever, there's the Delta episode where they created a brand new story for Rayquaza, and they also added a Deoxys part to it, where you're like fighting Deoxys in space on top of like Mega Rayquaza, which is like insane. So I guess they forgot how much people loved that when they made BDSP and gave it to the company that made Pokemon Home. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. But to end this off, I would like Black One, White One, remade whenever that comes out, with elements from both games done well, with enough time for Game Freak to make this game as great as possible as people want. So yeah,
cool. Yeah, that sounds
my
great.
Pokemon rant of the year. Thanks, guys.
Nice.
Oh, hey, you deserve it. Yeah, I had a couple more I wanted to talk about, but I really only have one. Does anyone else have anything else, any other remakes they want to bring up, or?
I do not.
All right, I'm gonna just launch into this. Well, first I'll say I was gonna talk about Kirby's Air Ride. I love Kirby's Air Ride. It's definitely one I want to see get remade, but I feel like I've already talked about that in a bunch of videos. But yeah, mainly just the city trial mode. I would love to see that get brought back. I think it's super fun. But the weirdest thing about the Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon remake is the fact that not only is it a 3DS game, but it's a 3DS game that already has like a sequel on Switch that we can play.
Oh, we can't play the first one.
Yeah, we can play Luigi's Mansion 3 on Switch, but they still thought it was important enough to bring over Dark Moon, which is a 3DS exclusive. This sounds crazy. I think this opens up the door for what I previously thought was the most unlikely Mario port of all time. I think Super Mario 3D Land could now very well come over to the Switch. It sounds absolutely ridiculous to think about, but it's in the exact same spot as Dark Moon. Like, exact same spot. Everything Dark Moon does, Luigi's Mansion 3 does better. Same thing with 3D Land. Everything 3D Land does, 3D World and Odyssey and every other 3D Mario on Switch does better. But at the same time, it's a 3D Mario game. If they port this over in the same way that they're doing Dark Moon and maybe sell it for $40-$50 and it's HD and maybe there's a couple new levels and maybe you can play as Luigi and there's like multiplayer in there, boom. That is a multi-million seller game in the same way that Dark Moon will probably sell over 1 million units, and they had to do pretty much no work. The game looks good. There would be they don't really need to do anything major with the 3D element. There are like a couple of rooms that'll be a little bit difficult, but you can very easily rectify that by just moving the camera around. Yeah, I never thought we would ever in a million years see this game ported over to Switch, but Dark Moon now makes me think it's possible.
Yeah, it's interesting take. If this gets released, then we're like one game short of having every 3D Mario game on the Switch.
Yeah, Galaxy 2. Yeah, Galaxy 2 is also very, very possible, but the fact that we got a 3DS game makes me like very like I'm not holding my breath for this, but 3D Land on Switch is more possible now than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you guys a crazy question. So, what are we missing 3D Mario wise? We're missing 3D Land, like from being playable on the Switch.
Yeah.
We have 3D Land. We have Galaxy 2. Are there any others?
64 DS, if you count that as a different game from 64. But that's
I would because there's like the more stars
DS.
and like different gimmicks. Do you guys think it's the same amount of games as 3D All Stars? Do you guys think there's a 3D All Stars too? Do you think that will actually be a thing? I don't know.
No.
No, they would just charge them individually. I think they would do 3D Land HD in the same way they're doing Luigi's Mansion. That would be a $40 to $50 game. Like maybe they added multiplayer if they're feeling generous in the same style as 3D World's multiplayer. Probably not though. Then Galaxy 2 gets ported and they charge that gets ported over in HD and they charge 20 to 30 I think for that in the same way that they're doing with Pikmin. Because Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 are GameCube games. They look about the same graphical fidelity as Galaxy.
But it's Mario and they know they could get away with doing it full price though, no? Like
I don't
Galaxy
think
2 coming to Switch, I always thought it was full price. Whenever talking about that.
If they just upscale it in HD and don't like add anything in addition to it, I don't think they charge full price for Galaxy 2. I don't even think Nintendo would do that. But
fair enough.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That's maybe something we can talk about in a future episode. Now that like 3DS games are on the table, like what do we want to see? I mean, like obviously we have a few, Kid Icarus and now 3D Land, but like on the ideas, I should say. But that would be an interesting topic.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Is this the first 3DS remake that's been ported to the Switch yet?
Yeah, to my knowledge, yeah.
Huh.
Like I think one of the maybe like Resident Evil like Revelations or one of the like old Resident Evil games got one in HD. But like from Nintendo first party, yeah, this is it. This is big news.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, this is interesting. We are
like we could even
almost
get
out of
stuff
time.
like we could even get stuff like sorry, well we'll end it right here. But we could even get stuff like Link Between Worlds.
Oh,
like
yeah,
people are asking for a new 2D Zelda. The Link's Awakening remake sold really well. Take Link Between Worlds, fix up the textures. That's a $50, $60 game.
And basically zero work for them.
Yeah,
it's absolutely not. If Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon sells really well, which it probably will because it's the Luigi's Mansion game, if Nintendo's smart, they start bringing over a bunch of old 3DS games, which honestly I'm not too opposed with as long as the pricing is fair enough. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, there's a bunch of possibilities there. Let us know down in the comments below or tweet at us at Nintendo Tonight if you want us to hear us talk more about 3DS stuff because there's a lot of stuff they could bring over. My mind is racing already, and yeah, it's definitely something we'd be able to talk about. So
100%.
Let us know down there as well. And with that out of the way, episode 52 is coming to a close. Thank you guys so much for making it this far in the episode. Again, make sure to check out the Nintendo Tonight YouTube channel, even if you listen to all the episodes on like Apple Podcasts or Spotify or something. Just checking out the channel and hitting the subscribe button would be nice because it'll send like the shorts to your inbox, and sometimes they're like we'll post like memes and stuff and whatnot like in the segments and in the shorts. So you just got to check it out. It'll be good. You'll enjoy it and it'll help out the channel. So yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. And anything else from either of you two, or
do we want to hit them with a sneaky fan question before we leave? Just like sneaky, like quick
sneaky
60 seconds.
Sneaky instant fan question.
Yes. Okay. Sure. I'm going to the first one I see. Let's go with Epic Gamer Dude. If you could add one brand new power up that would be added to Super Mario Bros. Wonder, what would it be? Go.
Me? I choose the butterfly power up. You get to fly.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Man. I'm gonna go with another animal. I'm gonna say a kangaroo power up where you can jump super high, but you can also add another power up to your pocket or whatever to hold on later.
No, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
man. And I'm last after that. Damn, Mario Dog Edition. That's what we're doing. Instead of a cat, we're doing. Yeah,
that'd be cute.
I like it.
Awesome.
I like it.
I like it. All right.
Awesome. Yeah.
Dope.
Well, thank you guys.
We out.
Anyone who listened to the end, you get a last bit. One final sneaky fan question. All right, see you guys later.
We out.